Our next guest says that BP can get through this tough time. He is still buying BP stocks. He's trading them, really, he was just telling me. And he says that cancelling this year's dividend was the right decision. Let's ask him why. I'm joined by Lothar Mentel. He is Chief Investment Officer at Octopus Investments. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hello,
now, you're really trading this stock, and it's probably quite a good stock to trade at the moment because it's so volatile, right?
Yes, exactly. That's unfortunately what's happened to BP now. It's gone from being a bellwether to really being a bit of a hot tip from day to day. So yes, in our absolute return fund, we do trade the stock. So we've both been buying and selling the stock at times, and we're pleased with the development of the prices of the last couple of days because that's what we were hoping for. But overall, I think there's still a lot of clouds over the next couple of months. What will happen to the share price?
Yeah. Now we've seen the dividend cancelled. Obviously, we've also seen what happened yesterday in Congress. I think a lot of maybe people looking at it from the European perspective felt that it was a very difficult day for Tony Hayward. He really was in a no-win situation, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure that everybody realises what sort of no-win situation he was really in. Why did he not answer the questions?
Yes. Well, he was accused of stonewalling, wasn't he, quite a lot by both Democrats and Republicans.
Which was really a bit unfair and farcical because, anybody who is a bit closer to this situation knows that if he says what really he would want to say to make a good PR impact, he can't say because it's going to give ammunition to the litigations that are still going to hit the company. So he has to react the way that he did. And the congressmen exactly know that, but they've got a midterm election coming up, so they need to say the things, or they want to say the things they did because of the electorate.
Yes, it was all very political from one side, but from his point of view, obviously, to people looking at it, I think it doesn't seem impossible that he didn't have hands-on knowledge of what was going on. We wouldn't necessarily expect a CEO to have hands-on knowledge of what was going on every rig. And it's also far too early, isn't it, to say exactly what caused the spill? Well,
it's also, to a certain extent, where humans are operating in a high-risk environment, and there's always a possibility of making mistakes. What benefit does it give us at the moment if one person or another has made a mistake? We've had a disaster, it was an accident, we should focus on clearing it and cleaning it up rather than pointing fingers, and that's really what they're doing at the moment.
From an investor's perspective, can Tony Hayward survive?
I wouldn't put my money on his long-term survival. No, I think it's such a political issue at the moment, so no, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't the CEO next year.
And what about BP and its future in the States? We've heard everything from bankruptcy to splitting up the US part of the business to its ultimate survival in the States. Where do you stand on this? What do you think is the most likely outcome?
Well, as I said, there's still quite a few clouds over the company over the next 6-8 weeks until we have those relief wells. But otherwise, I would just, as a long-term investor, so if we go away from the trading opportunities, really what you have to look at is that when things look the worst, the most, most investors are the most fearful, and you hear the most extraordinary stories about what might happen. That's usually when the value opportunities represent themselves, but you do have to have a long-term perspective for that, at least a year or more.
And you're not quite comfortable enough to go in there at the moment at the current price as a long-term investor?
Not for the long term. This needs to be watched very closely because at the moment we don't even know really what's coming and has come out of that well, and that will determine the cleanup cost, that bill, and therefore, yes, I think there's quite a bit of uncertainty still in there. Although the cutting of the dividend and the escrow account have obviously taken away some of that very big uncertainty, and I think it was also very important that Obama did say that it was in the interest of the US to have a strong BP.
Okay, Lothar Mentel, thank you very much indeed.
Much.